Good morning, y'all. This is Jacqueline Richardson, Miss JJ Diamond, Jackie, Deja, whatever y'all call me. I'm extremely late today for this podcast. I do apologize. I am exhausted, y'all. I'm just trying to get myself together. I don't know if y'all know, I've been working 2 jobs, plus still doing the music, doing my podcast, marketing. It's just a lot. It's just a lot. And I know y'all wondering, well, why she's working 2 jobs. Well, last year I had, and the year before, I got 2 new grandkids in the family. Y'all know the holidays is coming. So I have to prepare. You know, I'm not a last minute person, and I like to make sure all my the babies and kids get, what they deserve for the holidays. Also, I have one that's incarcerated, so I'm taking care of her as well, and it's not easy. And I still have my bills, I still have Egypt, and she's in homeschool, so that's pretty difficult as well. It's just a lot that I'm doing right now, and some things I just can't stop. Just like when you go to work, you just can't stop. With the podcast, I just can't stop because people are watching and they are, wanting to know what's going on. So this is why I'm telling y'all about the situation and why I'm exhausted. So y'all make sure y'all go stream Miss JJ Diamond, Miss JJ Entertainment. Buy the songs, whatever possible, because I'm getting tired, y'all. I am like exhausted, waking up daily, exhausted. Oh, y'all, I got the book out there, that boxer. Y'all can purchase that. Well, anyway, y'all can help me so I don't have to be so exhausted, and I can get on this podcast on time, 9 a.m. Monday through Friday. Oh, okay. Well, we want to thank God for being alive. Even though I'm going through all of this, He's still waking me up every day. So I got to thank God for that. I also got to thank God for just keeping me strong going through all of these things. The weather here in Charlotte today is cloudy. It's not too sunny, but it's not cold. Today I wanted to talk about. Actually, I want to talk about jailing. I've never physically had a sentence or been guilty of a crime. So, except for one, driving without a license, and it's so old, it's unreal. And not only that, it was 23 years ago, something like that. So, however, a lot of my family members and my ex-husband, if y'all listen to the other podcast on Apple or Spreaker or Google, y'all see a picture of me and my husband where he was in the jail and we was taking a picture. And I wanted to talk about that today because it can be very overwhelming, and I'm talking about that on a respective side of the person that's not in jail, okay? Now, y'all know, like Meek Mill, he has a reform to help those guys that's been in jail and been mistreated, So if y'all ever go through anything like that, y'all feel free to contact the reform. They're easy to contact. Once you look them up, there's an email, telephone number. Y'all can contact them and let them know what's going on, and they will let y'all know if they're willing to help based on your information. But now I'm going to be talking about on my perspective, okay, my side of things, okay. It's rough. I've done several bids. with family members. My husband was one of them, Mark Richardson. That's where I got the name Richardson from, because my name is actually Jacqueline Dowdy, but I was married to him and his last name was Richardson. When we got a divorce, I kept the name, and that's why my name is Jacqueline Richardson, for those that don't know. But my husband, he did a 3-year bid, okay? And that was the longest 3 years I ever seen in my life, okay? Now, before my husband did a 3-year bid, my daughter was going back and forth to jail for nonsense. And she had to do some upstate bidding as a juvie, okay? So I've been to a lot of the female jails and a lot of the male jails because of them, I have a nephew who's incarcerated. It's just so many of them that go in and we have to support them one way or another. And it's real difficult for us on the outside, and I'm going to tell y'all why. And this is why you need to think before you do a crime, okay? Because if you love your people, now, you got some people say, this is what they say to me, oh, I got to take care of my people. This is why I'm doing this. I'm not doing this because I want to. But your people is going to be the ones to take care of you when you go to jail, okay? And if your people are struggling now, if you go to jail, what are they going to do? They're going to be struggling even more, And these are the things that we have to pay attention to, people. Here we go again with, my song, Your World Choices, okay? Choices, Before you commit that crime, analyze your family situation. You know what I mean? Because if you have, say, a wife at home, kids, you're the sole provider of the family, and you go to jail, you subject that wife to having to take care of you, okay, or help you. Because nobody wants to see their family members in jail with nothing. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to see that, see you washing other people's drawers to eat or doing odds and ends for different inmates in order to get what you want. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to see you do that. So your family try their best to make sure you have what you need. You know what I mean? And we, as family, those that do care about their family, is not going to let your people starve or be down. You know what I mean? We're going to try as much as we possibly can to keep the phone lines open, to be able to send emails, to be able to send food, These are the things we go through, and we still have to buy food and pay bills at home as well. So it becomes very, very overwhelming, And then buying for a person in jail can be very difficult. Okay, just like recently, I'm trying to get my daughter some clothes. It's the fall. She needs some new shoes, new underwears, and different things like that. And I had put on Facebook, if y'all look on my Facebook page, I had 2 of them in jail at one time. I think it was 2 years ago. Okay. And I was packing up boxes, okay, of underwear, drawers, socks to send to the jails, okay? And people don't realize how stressful this stuff is, because you have to get certain things that the jails require and that they allow, okay? So now you got to run around looking for all this stuff. And you want to get it right, because if you don't get it right, you're not getting your money back. It's not like they're sending it back to you. Okay, that's like I did a package for my daughter, and I know that they don't have refrigerators, so I sent her some Lunchables, a lot of Lunchables. Excuse me. They didn't give them to her, So that was money down the drain, even though Lunchables is not that expensive, but who just wants to be throwing their money away? You know what I mean? So now we got to run around all over the city, whatever city you from, You got to go try to find exactly what they're able to have. Okay, then you can't go over certain pounds. Okay, they can't have certain color clothing. Okay, so now you got to search the city for a specific color and a specific size, of course. You know, so these are the things that can be very frustrating for the people on the outside. You know, then during the COVID, I was worried about my daughters. You know, she was in there and I was wondering if they was taking care of them properly. But she would call me daily. They did give them free calls to let the family members know that, you know, they were okay. And, you know, based on what she was telling me, she was doing okay. So I wasn't too worried about that, you know, but then I was looking at posts where some jails wasn't taking care of their people. Okay. My eyelashes. Y'all, I go to bed with these eyelashes and I wake up and they be all over the place. And I be trying to fix them, but I don't be having time. But anyway, so long story short, you know, I'm just saying you need to analyze your situation. Who do you love more? Do you love the money more? Or you love your people more? You know, and that's what you have to focus on. You know, sometimes we have what they call it, too much pride and not enough pride. Okay. Now, this is the way I look at things. Okay. I want you to understand. I look at it as, if I can go out here and hustle legally, you know, like you got some people that'll tell me, why are you still doing music? And I look at them like they're crazy because I still have stuff to talk about and I'm not afraid to do it. I'm not afraid to get on a mic and spit about whatever I wrote about. I'm not afraid. Okay? I'm not afraid to tell y'all my life stories because even though, you know, some of my life situations is bad, I'm not embarrassed about it because it's who it made me to be today. You know? So, you know, you get these people judging you because of you doing a positive thing and legal thing instead of going to jail. Doesn't make sense to me. They're crazy. You know what I mean? And I constantly tell them that they're crazy, you know, even though they be calling me crazy. I say, you the one that's crazy because I'm not bending over backwards to go out here and do crimes to help my family when I can get a royalty check every now and again. You're sick. Okay? That's just me. You know what I mean? I guess I'm different. But anyway, getting back to your choices, you know. Now, you think about it now. I got kids, right? And I just told you I had 2 new ones that just came to the family, you know, and was born. You know, they're a year apart. And I know y'all seen Lil Junior. That's my little guy. You know, he's in my song called Number One Spot. Y'all hear him grunting in the beginning of the song. That's my little baby. But he I was trying to make that song, y'all. I'm gonna tell you about this real quick. This is how it happened, how he got in the song. He used to get in his crib and start grunting. Okay, and he don't even be pooping. He just be grunting. And I don't understand why. I don't know if his stomach was hurting or what was going on with him. But he get in the crib and he be grunting and grunting and grunting. And I was trying to make this song, y'all, because y'all know I make my music from home. I don't go to a studio. I make everything right here in Miss JJ's bedroom, okay? And he kept grunting and grunting. And I just said, you know what? And I ain't supposed to curse y'all, but y'all know the song says, the baby said on him, okay? I already wrote a part, because you know the song is actually Ludacris' song, okay? And I rewrote some of the words to update it for today, okay? Because of course he did that song a long time ago. I can't remember how long ago, but a long time ago. And a lot of the newer generation wouldn't understand what he was talking about because it was from back in the day. So I had to upgrade it a little bit and throw some new age things in there so the people will, grasp onto it. And it worked, However, the baby was grunting while I was trying to record this song. And he just wouldn't go to bed. And I had a timeline, I had told Universal I would have this song done by a certain amount of time. And I just couldn't do it. So I said, you know what? I'm leaving him in there, because every time the song came on, he would grunt every time, and only on that part. Every time I started it over, here he go. I'm like, you know what? Junior, stop that. I stopped. I could do my other part, but then here he go again. It's like that particular part he wanted to grunt on. So I just said, you know what? I'm going to just leave him in there. But anyway, that's talking about my little Junior. He's in number 1 spot by Miss JJ Diamond. So y'all check that out, okay? But anyway, getting back to the jailing thing, I just wanted to throw that at y'all, how he, got in the song. It wasn't meant to be that way, okay? It just happened. He just wanted to grunt. So I wanted to give y'all a little background on that, how he got in the song. Getting back to the jailing, though, and this is real touchy for me, because I remember, I'm unable to visit, like, my daughter because she's up in New York State. I'm all the way down here in North Carolina. So until I decide to take that trip to New York and then go visit her, it's going to be rough and it's going to cost me a lot. So I choose to pretty much talk to her at least 3-4 times a week, send her packages, when I can, just keep the phone lines open and the emails open for her because I'm so far away. However, it wasn't always like that. I used to live in Maryland and we were still far away in Maryland, because they go more west, and I was more south east. So I'm going all the way back across to visit her. And I used to do it sometime, you know what I mean? I would take that ride through the mountains just to go see her, However, this time I'm so far away. But I want to talk about the bid with my husband. Now, let me tell y'all. Oh my God, this was the worst thing in my life. I was living in Buffalo, New York at the time, okay? And I would go see this man every Saturday and Sunday. Every Saturday and Sunday for 3 years, okay? Never had any time for myself. I was working in a nursing home and I was doing a paper route, okay, to be able to go and visit this man every Saturday and Sunday, okay? That means I had to have gas. We had to have money to eat at the, they have vending machines in there. I had to have money for that. He pretty much took care of himself in jail because he was working before he went to jail. And he had got income tax check and, he had some savings. So all of that was able to go into his jail account and he was able to, pretty much take care of himself. But then there was other things that he couldn't do, and the money started going away after a while. So then that part was on me, and now he needs this, he needs that, It was the worst thing ever. Okay. And then when I needed somebody to love me or hold me, he wasn't there. Okay. I had to wait. If I wanted to talk to him and say we spoke Monday, he's not calling back until Thursday. If I'm stressed out and I want to talk to my mate, I can't talk to him until Thursday. I couldn't pick up the phone and call him. Okay. I got to write him a letter. And by the time the letter get there, he'd be on call with me anyway. So it was very stressful for me, guys. And this is why I'm bringing this to your attention. I've had a lot of people and seen a lot of people that go to jail and their mothers and fathers pass away. Okay. It's just so much that people go through during a jail sentence. And this is why you need to think, analyze your situation before I do this crime. Is it really worth it? What am I going to put my family through? How much do you really love your family? Some people say, oh, I love my family. I love my family. You can't love your family if you're going to jail, because you are, especially if you're a man and you have a wife and you have kids, okay? You just can't love your family, and I'm going to tell you why. And if you do, the love is the wrong love, and I'm going to tell you why, okay? When you leave your family, you're there to protect. Most men say, I'm here to protect my family, okay? I'm here to love and protect my family. You go out and do a crime, you go to jail, you're not there to protect your family anymore. So how much do you really love your family? When you're pulling food out of their mouths to help you while you're in jail, that's not loving your family. When your family have to sacrifice every weekend or every other day to come visit you, that's not loving your family. Okay? That's loving yourself, and your decision making was wrong. Okay? And these are the things that we need to think about, and talk about. Analyzing your situation, and I always throw this in here every other podcast, okay? We have to get back to analyzing our situations, okay? Now, I'm not saying if you a big drug pen and you already established and you made all this money, you set money aside for your kids and stuff like that, it's okay. I'm still not saying that it's okay. But at least you set money aside for your children. You know what I mean? Or your wife, so that way they won't struggle through the situation. Okay? And I'm still not saying that it's right to be going to jail, because you're being pulled away from your family. Your family needs you. Your kids want to wake up and see you, not have to go to a jail and sit in a chair and can barely hug you. And that's some jails. Now, you got the jails that got the glass where you got to look at them through the glass. Okay? I experienced that as well in Harford County. Okay? So, you have to weigh your options, people. Do you really want your family members going through these things? It's not an easy task for them. It stresses them out. It puts more on their life, that they wasn't, expecting to have. I had met this woman. Her husband did 30 years. Okay. And so my husband first went to jail. And I was taking the bus from New York up to see him in jail. Okay. And, she said, what she called herself? Oh my gosh. I forgot what she called herself. But being that she was the longest on a bed, a 30-year bed, she was like the head of things. So she organized all the girls and guys that was going up to visit families. We would come to her, ask questions. She would speak to the bus driver. They knew her. She seen people come and go, okay, because she was on a 30-year bed. And I had to stop and ask her, that's just me, y'all. If I want to know something, I'm going to ask. And I'm like, how did you do 30 years with this man? How? And, she did it because she loved him. You know what I mean? And she had married him. She wanted to be with him. And she was there from the day he got not arrested, but, got sentenced. And I just told her, I said, don't you want a regular life? And she said, yeah, I do, but I married this man and it's to death do us part. He made a mistake and I have to, continue to do my part as a wife. And I understood that because I was married as well. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to ride this thing out. It's only 3 years. She's done it for 30. I can do this. Oh, that ride was killing me. Y'all hear me? That ride was killing me, going back and forth every weekend. Okay? It got to the point where I would try to find a hotel to stay in up there so I can stay up there for the next visit. Then I would have to catch a cab to the jail. It was crazy, okay? To where I decided to just move up north, okay? Being that I was already living up north in the past, I said, okay, I'm going to go back to Buffalo and then I can do this bid with my husband because I can't take this ride every weekend. I knew it. I would have folded the job. I would have been like, I can't do this. So I moved. I moved back up to Buffalo and it made it a little bit easier. I only had an hour and 15 minutes to drive. Okay. But y'all know, Buffalo, Rochester area, nothing but snow in the wintertime. Okay. It was crazy. I'm going to tell you this story. I woke up one morning and it was like a blizzard outside and I just looked out there and I was like, I do not want to go to this jail today. And I'm looking at my kids and I'm like, they look warm in the bed. It's one of them days you just stay home, cozy, I'm like, but I told this man I was coming. Definitely, when I spoke to him on the phone and I said, I'm definitely going to be there. I'm definitely going to be there. So then I said, well, let me listen to the news and make sure they didn't shut down the highway. Because that's one thing that Buffalo normally does when it snows really, really bad. They'll shut down the highway. But it was still snowing. So now I get up, the boys start getting up and I got them ready, and, they're like, oh, we're going to see Mark. I'm like, yeah, we're going to see Mark. So we get in the car. I warm it up and everything. We get in the car. We drive halfway down. State troopers. You need to get off the highway. We're going to be shutting the highways down. You got to take the local roads. I'm like, oh my God, now it's going to take me longer to get there. Give me 1 second, y'all. Anyway, I get to the jail. Okay. We visiting, And they come to us and say, they're not clearing the roads. So y'all might have to spend the night. Spend the night? I'll never forget this day, y'all. It was like, yeah, y'all gonna have to spend the night. We're gonna have to put some cots on the floor. Some stuff on the floor, and y'all can all sleep on the floor. So I said, well, is my husband gonna be able to stay with me? And they was like, no, they have to go back to their dorms. But y'all stay here in the cafeteria because we can't let y'all go back if the highways are down. So I'm like, what? I said, well, I know a local way to get home. I don't have to take the highway. It was like, still, we can't release y'all. I didn't do no crimes. I want to be free. No, y'all came in here. Y'all checked in here. We cannot release y'all. So now I'm subjected and I got to go to work. Okay? Monday morning, I'm supposed to be at work. Y'all know hospitals and nursing homes don't shut down. They don't care what type of weather it is. Make it here. So now I'm worried. I'm like, oh my God, I got to go to work tomorrow. They would say, oh, we'll let you call your job. I don't want my job knowing my husband is in jail and I'm stuck at the jail. So I'm like, now I'm worried about that. How people going to look at me because my husband is in jail. So I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So this is the things that we go through, people. So now I'm trying to get my mind right so I can tell my job that I'm stuck at the jail and I can't get to work because I came to visit my husband in jail. And I'm sitting there thinking, they're going to look at me crazy when I go back to work. I did have some vacation time, so I was like, okay, maybe I could use one of my vacation days or whatever the case may be until they clear the roads. I just had to say a prayer. Here go me with my praying. I had to say a prayer. Prayer works, people. I said a prayer. I said, I can't do this. I can't sleep on no floor. I want my kids sleeping on no jail floors. I don't even want to sleep in the jail. So I prayed, and it was about 5 o'clock, I think. About 5 o'clock. Because we used to go there from 9 to 3. Okay, we would be on the visiting floor from 9 a.m. to 3. But by this point, it was 5, and they let us continue to sit there, until they felt that it was time for us to apart the inmates and, start setting us up for bed. So it's about 5 now, and they came in and was like, oh, but they cleared the roads. And I said, dig, oh my God. I said he was working. He was working. He cleared the road. They cleared the roads. And we're going to let y'all go in about an hour because we're going to give them more time to make sure that everything is clean. But we do suggest that y'all take the main highway versus the back roads. So I was so thankful. I said, God, you, and this is why I talk about God so much, because you don't know how many mountains he's moved in my life, y'all, okay, where I was at, like, my bit of wit, like, oh, my God, how am I going to get through this? They cleared them roads, and I was able to get my babies home back into their warm beds, you know what I mean? We was already stuck there. We normally get home about 5, okay? By the time we leave the jail at 3. Everybody's piling out. We get in the car, get on the highway. I always stop at the store right after I get out, get back to my city to get them something to eat. And then we go home and we go to bed. Now, I couldn't cook dinner for my kids on the weekend. Okay, so we had to always eat out. So this is what I had to do every day, every weekend for 3 years. But this particular time, we was getting out of there about 6:30, almost 7. So now it's dark. And I got to ride these roads with my babies and the snow and all this other stuff. So it made it even worse. But God got me out of there. So I was thankful, okay? But now I really got to because they got school tomorrow morning. So I got to get home and hustle, okay? Luckily, the schools was closed down the next day. I was so thankful. Because Buffalo very rarely closed the schools down for snow, okay? But they did this particular Monday, so I was so thankful. I called my boss and I asked them, if I could switch with somebody, because I was like extremely tired, and luckily a girl did switch with me. She came in and covered me, and I worked her day off. I mean, her day for working, we had switched. So it wound up working out okay. But look at what I had to go through, And people need to take into consideration when you're doing a crime, put your family in the front of your mind first. Don't put them in the back saying, I'm doing this for my family. Put your family first and say, my family loved me, so I can't do this. Okay? Because they are going to suffer. Even though I'm not able to visit my daughter on a regular basis, and it hurts me. I want to see her so bad. But I'm suffering. Okay? I can't call her when I feel like it. I got to make sure she has what she needs. It's just a very stressful time for any family. And it can hurt some, especially elders or people that's sick. It can take them down a road that they don't want to be down, and it can also kill them. you know, the stress on the body of trying to make ends meet to help your family member, you know. So when y'all out there with the raging, assaults, stealing, robbing people, if it's not for your family, meaning they was trying to harm your family, it's not even worth it, because you take your family through more pain, okay, than you would if you were there not able to help them financially. You understand what I'm saying? Because the thing is, if you're on the street and your family's struggling, okay, and this I always tell people, you always set your life up for if you don't have a job, okay, or if you lose your job or whatever the case may be. Like I've set my life up many times like this, where I always have an alternative route to make some money. Now people always say, how she always survive like that? Because I always make an alternative route to make some money. People might not always know the things that I do and it's legal, but I always make an alternative route to have money coming in just in case something falls. Okay, and this is what y'all have to do. You know, like right now in my life, I have my music, I have Instacart, you know, and I also have my job. So if things are not going right on this side, I can always depend on this side. You always have to set your life up. Excuse me, y'all, my nose is so stopped up. I got to take some pills. I didn't take them this morning. I be trying not to take these pills, but some days I have to. Long story short, you have to set yourself up to where if one thing doesn't work, you have something else to fall back on. Or have family members that's able to be there for you if needed. You know what I mean? And I always say there's always, in every family, there's always one family member that has their feet planted on the ground straight. You know? And the reason being is because not everybody can be a mess up. Okay? So instead of putting that pressure on that family member, try to analyze your situations before you decide to run off and go do a crime because you want money for this. You can't be patient. And see, that's the key, being patient. Like my daughter, I'm going to use her for instance. If she would have been patient, she would be out here with us today. But she didn't want to be patient. So these are the things that we have to work on, people. Patience, okay, discipline, and our thinking. Okay? Our thinking, it plays a big part. It plays a big part in our lives. You know, the way we analyze things and think about things. You know, sometimes we make mistakes, you know, and this is for the people that might have made a mistake and got caught and didn't know that they were making a mistake and went to jail. You know, of course, people like you, we have to make an exception for, you know, those that, what they call it, when they're not guilty of something and they, you know, they charge them with it anyway. Those we have to make an exception for, you know. But for these people out here doing crimes every other year and getting these bids, we call those career criminals, okay? And your career criminals, you know who you are. I'm talking to you, okay? You hurt your family, you know. Shout out to a lot of my, I've been coaching a lot of guys that's been getting out of jail, you know, recently. And shout out to them. They have elevated to where they never went back to crime. And when I say they elevated more than me. Okay, shout out to them, you know. However, I've been coaching them pretty much on how to stay out of jail and how to get your life in order. Life is going to be stressful. Yeah, you want to do some crimes because you used to the money coming easy or whatever the case may be. But you need to analyze and see why you don't need to do the crimes. You don't need to put your family through the stress. You know, and I'm so proud of one of them. I am so proud of him. It's unreal. From the time that he got out and um, start trying to get his life in order, and he is flying straight. I mean, he still has some flaws, but he ain't going to jail. Okay, so I am so proud of him. He actually moved here to Charlotte to be closer to his coach. Okay, so yeah, like I said, I'm so proud of him. You know, and this is the thing. You know, people used to tell me when I was living in Baltimore. You know, they would say, well, I wasn't living in Baltimore. I was living in Harford County, Maryland. And some of my fellas would say, you know, well, look where you live. You live in the suburbs. And I'm like, yeah, but it's not where you live. It's your mindset, you know. And they didn't understand where I was coming from with it. And I guess I had to physically go through what they were going through, the stress, and God had put me through it. Okay, because I've been through, within the last 7 years, I've been through hell and back, people. I can tell y'all some stories and you'd be like, how did you get through it? Without committing a crime. Okay, and we'll talk about that one day, you know, about all of the things that I've experienced within the last 7 years of my life. You know, actually during the duration of this music. You know, me not having a job, not being able to take care of my family properly, having to deal with the system, you know, a lot of things. And I guess God had to take me down that channel so that people can see, you know. So I'm a product of which I say y'all are, which drives y'all to the jail, but I haven't been to jail. I didn't have to commit any crimes, you know. I'm just being honest, you know. So if you ever need any, I would say, coaching, support, when it comes to this low budget life that we have to live sometimes, you know, because we can't find jobs. We want to feed our children and the food stamp office is acting a fool. They don't want to give you no food stamps because they don't have the right paperwork, but your kids is at home starving. You know, I've been there. So I know what it feels like to be on that side of the wall where you're saying to yourself, what do I do? So if you ever need that help, you know, mentally, y'all reach out to me. You know, y'all can always reach out to me on Instagram, Facebook. My telephone number is out there. My email is out there. Y'all reach out to me. You know, I had one of my fellas contact me. He was like, I'm trying to find a job. I'm about to be homeless, you know. And I told him, I said, listen, if you lose your house, you know, I said, go to Labor Ready. Labor Ready is in every state, okay, that I've known of, okay? And they pay you by the day. You don't have to have a car. You just got to get there. As long as you got bus fare to get to the location that they send you to, you will get paid either that following day or that day. And I don't know if he did it. And I told him, I said, there's a hotel right by the Labor Ready. So you make your money, you go stay at the hotel until you can figure this thing out, you know. And I'm assuming he did it because he's okay. Okay, unless he found somebody else to help him, but he didn't go to jail. You know what I mean? Because he needed to bust somebody upside the head to get some money to survive, you know, to help his kids, you know. So sometimes we got to weigh out our options, and sometimes we need to speak to someone else that might have been through some things, or someone that has resources. That's the other key, resources. You know, sometimes we don't have the knowledge of certain resources to help us, and this is why we fold, you know, and result to crime, you know. But you have to reach out, people, so people can help you, you know. And there's a lot of people out here on say Facebook. Y'all know I'm on all platforms and y'all can find me, you know. If you need some resources, don't hesitate to to call me. And y'all know, Private Friend Incorporated, which is my nonprofit, we don't judge you. You know, we're here to give you any resources needed, help you figure out your situations, and we keep it private.